Okay, so this is the spreadsheet that will help you identify influencers, prioritize them, and assess your current level of focus on them. Now, depending on your screen configuration, you may want to change the zoom settings. I have it set to 100% so we can see what's going on. So the first inputs go here into this block. You simply type in the names of the influencers or their job titles based on the type of influencer they are. And some influencer types are listed below if you need a reminder. Now, let's make some up. Say my customer was the global learning and development leader, and two end users were the marketing managers and sales managers. As you add these names in the cells, they get carried over to this list. So let's speed things up a little and add a few more. Now, once you're done, you will have a list that probably needs a little refining. First, you rate all the influencers based on their relative importance in influencing the purchase decision, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. Start with the most important. Typically, that's the customer, and score them a 10. You can make every other influencer relative to that 10. So if you think the next most important influencer is half as influential as the customer, you would score them a 5, and so on. So once that is done, decide who you want to take forward to the analysis phase by choosing yes in this column. Now, you could carry everybody forward, but it's usually more efficient and insightful to focus on the top 5 or 6 influencers. The tool will calculate an importance weight for those you carry forward and will ignore all of the rest. And the list to the right shows you those you have chosen to take forward ranked in order of their weighted importance from highest to lowest. And the pie chart just shows this in graphical form. Now you can refine things at this point if you need to. You can add or remove people from the analysis phase or change their importance score, and do this until you're happy that the list represents a good approximation of the reality of who the influencers are in your market and their relative importance in influencing the purchase decision. Once you are happy, click over to the Analysis tab. So here, the list from the prior exercise has been carried over. You now need to assess your current level of focus or resource allocation, if you prefer, against these influencers, using a similar 10-point relative scale. Well, actually, in this case, it's 11-point scale because you have the option of using a 0 if you don't currently focus on a particular influencer at all. So similar to before, use a 10 for the influencer who is getting most of your focus and attention, and score the others relative to that 10. When you are finished rating each influencer, the top pie chart shows your current level of focus. So in this example, we are putting 67% of our focus on the global L&D leader. The lower pie chart shows you the recommended focus aimed to match the relative importance of each influencer that you identified earlier. And the bar chart simply shows the difference between the two. A positive bar indicates you should consider putting more focus on a particular influencer, and a negative bar indicates you should reduce your current level of focus. So in our example, the global L&D leader should have their current focus reduced from 67% of our total available resource to 32%, which is a reduction, allowing for a little rounding, of 34% of your total budget, as shown in the bar chart. Now, the bar chart is a zero sum. You add them all up and they'll equal 0. It assumes the total level of resource available doesn't change, so it simply redistributes them from the current level. If you want to change the recommended focus allocation, you can do it in this box here. And that is that. Remember, no tool can give you a categorical answer. It is designed to force you to consider who is influencing your sales, how much focus you currently put against them, and how that should change given their relative importance. The final decision, though, is always up to you. Like all of these tools, they're simply tools for thinking. If you have any questions, contact me via the website.